If you take a look at the last few EXs, we had EX Saturn, EX Law, EX Blackbeard, and if you see one thing that was common among them was that they weren't broken enough to break the game. Not to say that they weren't broken, they definitely had a few broken traits, but they had their flaws as well, and they were killable. But now they went ahead and released EX nusjuro, and they're repeating the same mistake again. So today I'm pretty much going to be yapping a bit about the current situation of the game, so y'all can go ahead, get a drink, get a snack, and let's hop right into the video. So the first point that I wanted to touch on is pretty much the same thing that I was talking about before, is the release of EX nusjuro. He's quite broken, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's super broken. They gave him a shield. They gave him some crazy movement, bro. They gave him a movement mechanic. Skill 2 makes him head to mid faster than runners, bro. He literally gets to mid faster than runners. Can you believe that? He's a defender who can get to mid flag faster than most runners in the game. Like, even if you go for a king, I think king has the fastest skill 2 in the game, right? If I'm not wrong. So even if you use like a king, I'm pretty sure nusjuro still gets to mid first. Or even like a Dark Roger right now, I think he's the best runner. He still gets to mid before Dark Roger. It's just so crazy, bro. Like, that guy is just so fast. A defender, I think, should not have had that much movement. And honestly speaking, with the meta that we had, we just got EX Blackbeard, Whitebeard got buffed, you know, so we had two broken like EXs in the meta that were like more defensively oriented rather than, you know, being runner oriented. So I think we should have gotten a runner here instead of a defender. Honestly speaking, I think we should have gotten a runner, because right now the meta is pretty much get mid flag and win, or get the first 3 flags, you know, in like stages that are not like more linear, you know, stages like Dressrosa, Coliseum and stuff, where, you know, flags are all around the place on the sides and stuff. It's pretty much get 3 flags and win. And obviously on linear like stages like a Marineford or something, where it's like straightforward, you have 3 flags in a line, you know, just get the mid flag and you win the game pretty much, because you're gonna have a nusjuro on your team, you're gonna have a Saturn on your team, Whitebeard on your team, Kizu on your team. There's literally nothing the enemy team can do once you get mid flag. It's just cooked, right? So the game is literally kind of dead, bro, especially for runner mains. You know, me, I'm just a runner main. I still somehow make do in this meta, bro, but you can't really do too much, bro. You're just a spectator once, you know, like you get mid flag. That's your only job at the start of the game. The first 10 seconds or 20 seconds of the game, you get mid flag. And then your best bet is to just go around, try to back cap, and just try to distract the enemy team, bro. Like, keep drawing them for the back cap, keep distracting them, keep dying over and over again to them. That's literally your best chance, bro. You can't really do too much other than that. And yeah, you pretty much, the rest of your team will defend, and that's pretty much your game done, bro. You literally cannot do anything else. That's literally the game. That's what the state of the game has come to, and I think that's why it's kind of broken. And that's why I said, like before, even when EX Luffy released, people were complaining that EX Luffy is super broken, this, that. But when EX Luffy released, it was more of a tons of treasure meta. Same thing when EX Law came out. It's always way better to have a tons of treasure meta, bro, because the game is just so much more open. Because if, you know, the enemy team has 4 runners, you have 4 runners, that's still like a fun game, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's so much better than having this type of get mid flag and win type of game. At least if you have a tons of treasure meta, you know, you have a lot of more runners coming into the game, you know, old runners, you know, like Bueno and stuff, Dark Uta and stuff. We saw so many old runners coming back into the game that were kind of just like dead. And, you know, you have these new runners coming into the game who can get flags really nicely. And it's just overall so much more fun than having a get mid flag and win meta, you know. And second point that I want to talk about is pretty much Kizu, bro. Kizu came out when, I think he came out in like May or something. I'm not exactly sure about the exact day when he came out, but I think it's pretty much been like 8 to 9 months now. It's been over half a year, 8 to 9 months since he's come out, and pretty much almost every bounty fest, not even almost, I'm pretty sure every bounty fest or every unit in general, even EX units that have come out, have had the same trait where they pretty much heal 5% damage or 3% damage or 7%, how much ever percent it is, right? They heal that much damage when they're hit by a Navy unit or a unit with attack increases or whatever, right? They just have, each unit has like their different ways. They just have different like names, right? But in general, it's just there to counter EX Kizu, and that's why a lot of other attackers and stuff have suffered. You know, so units that kind of like heal from you know, have the trait that where they heal from Navy units. That has made Garp and Kobe suffer. Units like Garp and Kobe suffer from that because they're also Navy units who are attackers, and they kind of suffer from that. They're ones who have attack increases. I don't know if Kobe has attack increase. Does he have attack increase? I don't remember, but Garp definitely has attack increase. He suffers from that. That's the reason Garp has gone down so much. Although he's still quite good to deal with runners and stuff, you know, Fujitora and all these other runners that are doing really well right now. Dark Roger, Fujitora, they're like the best runners right now. Doc Q, Garp just one shots all of them, I'm pretty sure. So that's why he's so good right now. But yeah, because of that trait, bro, that is really like that every character has now. A lot of these other attackers suffer that are actually like good attackers. They're fun to play. But yeah, Kizu just ruins the game. Like you should not release a unit that broken, bro. Where you're here, we're here like 9 months later, and we're still facing with we're still dealing with enemy teams that have 4 Kizus on the enemy team. Like, it's so crazy. People are just spamming Kizus. It's just normal to see 2 or 3 Kizus on the enemy team now, bro. It's like it's a normal thing again after nusjuro drop. Like, it is so crazy. Like, literally, bro. A unit should not be broken for this long, bro. I get that some units come out and they're super broken, but a unit should not be broken for this long, bro. I'm not gonna lie. And also, we're right now in like more for a red unit meta because we did get EX Law. Now we got Nusjuro. He's a red unit, and it's been like so long since we got a blue EX. But I'm pretty sure the next anniversary has to be a blue EX. We are supposed to get a blue EX, so I hope that anniversary just completely cooks Kizu up because we've had a lot of EXs that have come and gone, and I hope Kizu is one of them that goes because this guy's just super toxic, bro. Like, he's just super toxic. You can't really do too much about him. You know, he has a lot of broken traits. And I hope the new EXs that come out in 7.5 anniversary kind of put an end to the Kizu meta, bro, because he's been like super toxic, super annoying. I'm pretty sure the rest of the community agrees with me as well. And the next point that I do want to touch on is pretty much releasing more EXs like Saturn, Law, and Blackbeard. These pretty much are skill-based units. You kind of need a little bit of skill to play them. You know, Blackbeard, you need to be able to change to light and dark depending on who you're fighting. Saturn, you need to know when to time your skill 2 to teleport, which flag you're gonna teleport, when to use your skill 1 to get that invincibility, stuff like that. You know, Law again, Law is pretty much dependent on his counter, and pretty much the way you utilize his 2 skills, you know, in order to survive. And yeah, they're all like really skill based or decision making units, whatever you want to call them. Skill based decision making, what do you want to say? And also, not only that, but we're also getting some good Bani Fest during this period. We had units like Chopper, Kumabani. Those are some really broken Bani Fest. They're pretty much EX level Bani Fest, bro, that we got during this period. And they were really good Bani Fest. I think we should continue with that trend where you pretty much drop a super broken Bani Fest once every 3 or 4 months, which we used to have back in the day as well. You know, Albert, King, Cracker. You know, these were like some really, really good Bani Fests. And I think they should continue this. It's really good for the free to play players mainly, because they can't obviously afford every single EX, so they can at least get the Bani Fests like Chopper, Kumabani, who are really broken. And like I said, bro, pretty much I think this is something that they need to double down on because it's something that they're doing well. Saturn, Law, Blackbeard, really good units, and they're also had like clear flaws. You know, Saturn was super weak to like multiple live ignoring units like Kalgara, Lucci. Then they introduced Kubo and stuff as well. Blackbeard again was really squishy. Law obviously, you know, he's weak to like multi heal, like multi. When I'm saying multi heal, bro, anti heal. So anti heal and stuff, and obviously high damage dealing units can one shot him most of the times, like Chopper and stuff. And yeah, pretty much, bro. They all had their clear weaknesses, and they had their own broken traits as well. Like Saturn has his trait KO. You know, Law has the ability to ignore skills and just shut out your skills and teleport you. You know, obviously Blackbeard just does crazy amounts of damage, and he can obviously change between dark and light, which is super broken. And yeah, like I said, they all had their broken traits, and at the same time, they also had their open flaws as well. That was clearly, you know, it's visible. It's clearly visible. When Blackbeard came out, it was not like, oh, who can counter Blackbeard? It was clearly tellable that okay, these units can counter Blackbeard. When Law came out, it was not a problem. They didn't really like make the game unplayable. It was actually fun when these units came out, right? Because they were like not too broken units. They were actually quite fun to play. And I think they should continue to release EXs like this. I think these are like really good examples. Especially Law, I think, is like the perfect EX. He had his broken traits, but he was not too broken and did not break the game at all. He actually made the game better. I'm not gonna lie, he made the meta better. And yeah, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I think Law was like the perfect EX. They should release more EXs like that, bro. That are more like a little bit, at least a little bit skill based. I get that this is a gotcha game, but I think they should kind of make at least a few EXs that are more, at least a little bit skill based, right? A little bit of skill based, a little bit decision making is required, not just spam buttons when like how it was when Kizu came out, right? You just like people was auto clicking with Kizu, bro. That's how broken Kizu was. Like people would just auto clicked with Kizu. And the next point that I wanted to talk about is pretty much the buffs. So we just recently got Wetbeard buffs, which I think they finally did this boy right, bro. I'm not gonna lie, Wetbeard, my boy Wetbeard finally got done right, bro. They did him really dirty when Dark Roger came out, but finally, bro. Finally, Whitebeard got his good buffs, bro. I think he's gonna be in the meta for a long, long time now. His buffs are really, really good, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's got some really solid buffs, and I don't see him falling off anytime soon. He's gonna be there at least for another year minimum, bro. At least for another year minimum. He can pretty much like carry the defense. I'm not saying just being playable, right? I'm talking like carrying the defense, right? So he's really good. Not gonna lie. And yeah, bro, like we had buffs like Oni, Zora, and Oden just before Whitebeard, which kind of like put the the hopes of people really down. mainly because they thought that we're not gonna get good buffs, mainly because of the Oden and Onizoro buffs, which I think were not even buffs; they are more like nerfs. Even like the Shiryu buffs, the Shiryu and Kobe buffs, I think they changed like one trait for Shiryu. I know it's called balance adjustments, like the official term is balance adjustments, and it's not buffs, but like still, bro, the main reason you're balancing a character or balance adjusting a character is to make him playable in the current meta, right? And changing like one trait here and there is not like exactly making him playable, bro. If you're making the character better, might as well make him good, bro. Like like you did with Whitebeard, like you did with Zephyr. There's no need for you to go through all the pain of saying balance adjustments and just dropping like changing one trait, bro. I don't think it's worth it. So hopefully we get more buffs like Whitebeard, and hopefully we get older buffs as well, buffs for older units. So units pretty much like ulti, units like the old Onigashima Straw Hats. I would love to see some buffs for those units. Oni Luffy, Oni Kid, Oni Law, those units. Would love to see some buffs for those units, bro. Some fan favorites like King, Prime Rayleigh. Those are some units I think that people have been really waiting for a long, long time. So hopefully we get buffs for those type of units as well. It would be really fire to see that. All right, so the next topic that I want to cover here is pretty much the hackers, bro. The hacker situation has gotten out of hand. We got so many hackers, and we even had Tanapi and like the Bandai team talking about this and saying that they're gonna fix the hacker situation. They're gonna implement anti-cheat systems, this and that, but they've not been really doing too much. I think the only thing that they've been doing till now is pretty much banning the people that have a lot of reports on there, but they're not like IP banning them or anything, bro. They're just banning the account, and then they just make a new account and they're back in the game, bro. So that's the problem. There's literally entire alliances of hackers, bro, that are getting top 100, literally getting top ranks. If you go and look at the top ranks, even like the individual top ranks, there's like the top 10. I'm pretty sure half of them are just hackers. Even top 50, half of them are just hackers, or maybe not half, but like a significant amount of them are hackers, bro. So it's actually kind of crazy. And I don't think it's like super hard to like implement an anti-cheat system, bro. If there's like, for example, if we're talking about multi-hit hacks, bro, Bandai can just like have a hit limit. Like me personally, I'm like in tech. I'm studying tech in college right now. So obviously I have not studied game development. I had that class like last semester, but I didn't really take it. So obviously I don't really have the most amount of knowledge on this topic, but I do have like a teeny tiny bit of knowledge about it. And from that knowledge that I do have about it, I can think about like at least implementing some kind of like a hit limit, right? If you have multi-hit like units like Kizu, for example, you know that Kizu skill one hits you like 15 times. I don't know how many times it hits him. Hits skill one hits, but I don't know. Like say for example, let's just assume it hits 15 times, right? So the highest amount of hits that you can get in the game by any character multi-hit for skill is like 15, for example, right? Let's just assume, right? 15 hits. So why can't you just have a limit, a hit limit for like 20, 25, 30? So if any unit hits another unit 30 times, you just automatically flag that account, just flag that account. So you can just look into it. So, just get the account gets flagged, you see what happens, and you can easily tell. And for this, you can just like manually review that account or review the action that took place for the account to get flagged. I don't think it's that hard to implement this. Same thing with the speed buffs, right? Same thing with the speed buffs. Say the fastest movement speed for a unit right now, probably nusjuro, I think is the fastest moving unit. Say it's like 20 units, right? I don't really know what unit they use to measure the speed, but let's say it's just 20 units. So if someone's moving at a speed of 30 units or 40 units, you can just flag them. Like you can just like have an anti-cheat system that pretty much caps the speed at say 35 units or something, right? And if any unit is recorded having more than 35 units speed, you can just flag the account, and then like you can just review it manually later on, bro. I don't see it being that hard that it takes years and years for you to be able to implement an anti-cheat system. I think this is something that can definitely be done within a couple months. Even a couple months, I think is more. You can definitely do it within a month, bro. Like y'all are earning so much money, bro. I'm pretty sure y'all should be able to implement these cheats like to deal with hackers and stuff. And yeah, that's mainly like the hacker situation, bro. Hopefully Bandai does look into it, because it is definitely a dampener for the game, because especially people who are grinding like top ranks, bro. It's happened so many times to me. I've been grinding top 100 for my alliance and stuff, trying to get Legend League and stuff, and I got a hacker on my team, so I just got to throw the game, bro. It's just kind of annoying, and I lose my win streak, stuff like that. It's kind of annoying, bro. So hopefully Bandai does deal with the hacker situation. I've definitely seen them talking about it more recently, so hopefully they do something about it, bro. But yeah, looking forward to something to be done about the hackers. And the next topic that I pretty much want to talk about is the rewards that we've been getting. We've been recently getting a lot of boost 3 units. Like we recently got the holiday robin for Christmas, I think. We got the holiday robin. Recently got Kaku as well. We've been getting quite a few units that we can boost 3, get some hyper boost. And we've also been getting a lot of rainbow diamonds and stuff. We recently had that 100 rainbow diamond little leak sheet, whatever it's called. I don't remember the exact name for it, but yeah, we got that. We got some missions for like kid. I think we also got enough frags to get kid booster, right? I'm pretty sure. So a lot of those missions, a lot of free rewards, which is really good. And I think they should low key give it out because units like kid, units like Kaku are not really playable. So might as well give out those missions, right? Because at least let us build our support. Let us be like let us at least do something against these whales that we go up in league battle, bro, with 300 hyper boosts. At least let us have like 50, 60 hyper boosts. Like us free to play players are getting cooked out here playing against these 300 hyper boost 178 support whales, bro. It's quite hard out here. So those rewards definitely go do help a long way. So I just hope that they continue doing that. They give us more free boost 3 units, give us enough frags, give us enough resources, bro, so we can at least build our support and stuff. And yeah, we also recently got a free EX now. We could choose. We could not choose, but we could just randomly get one EX between Akainu, Yamato, and Kaido. I unfortunately, as bad as my luck is, I just got Yamato on both accounts. My luck is just cooked over these last few months, but I don't know what it is. I literally went guaranteed for Law, Blackbeard, and nusjuro. It's just so cooked. But yeah, pretty much that. And also recently, I've also been seeing that they've been giving us a lot more shorter challenge battles over the last couple of weeks, which is again a good thing. I hope they continue to do that. Right? Just give us 3-day challenge battles over and over. So per week, we can easily like get like what 40 frags, 40 crystal frags, like 30 to 40 rainbow diamonds, and a lot of other boost 3, boost 2 resources, a lot of important resources that we kind of need to build our support, build our characters up, stuff like that. That will definitely be like really, really important, and it will definitely help a lot, to build our accounts. Alrighty, so next up, the topic that I pretty much want to touch on is pretty much the damage that is currently in the game. The one shots are going crazy in the game right now, bro. You make one small mistake with a unit, you get one tapped, and you just gotta wait 10 seconds to respawn again. Like, it's kind of crazy. Some games I literally just like play respawn simulator. I literally cannot do anything because the opponents just have super broken units, and you just play either they're super broken units and they're whales, and you just can't do anything about it. You're just gonna spend the entire 3 minutes just getting one shot, coming back to spawn, waiting 10 seconds to spawn with your next unit. You come out with the next unit, get one tapped again, and yeah, it's pretty much just like the cycle of that, bro. So I really hope they, honestly speaking, what I really hope they can do is reduce the damage output and they remove the concept of one taps, bro. Like a small mistake that you make is just because you like got baited into dodging doesn't mean you just get one tap, bro. Like these days, people will just bait you into a dodge and then boom, they're gonna galaxy impact you, they're gonna tremor crash you, they're gonna like Yasakan, Magatama you, and you're dead, bro. You're just cooked. It's just GG's for you. Like that small mistake should not lead to a death, bro. You should not be able to get KO just because of a small mistake like that. And that's a concept that has just recently come into the game, bro. Like you make one small mistake, you get one tap, bro. It's so cooked. I think that they should remove that because like actually before in the game it used to actually be fun, bro. You make a mistake, you get baited, you don't do a dodge, boom, you get hit by a skill, you take a little bit of damage, it's fine, you're chilling, right? You're taking a little bit of damage, you can always come back, you can beat the opponent in one-on-one. Right now it's just cooked, bro. You make one small mistake, you're KO'd, go back to spawn, wait 10 seconds, spawn with the next unit, and just repeating. It's the same thing repeating. Maybe you're gonna go out and one tap someone else now. So that's pretty much how it is, bro. It's literally so cooked. And the next topic that I pretty much wanted to talk about is pretty much make it easier to max characters, bro. Like, cause right now we need 1,200 fragments to get a character maxed, and 1,200 is just way too much, bro. It takes so much of saving. It takes like 1,200 frags is like easily at least 3 to 4 months of saving, bro. Minimum 3 to 4 months of saving to get 1,200 frags. Probably even more. Probably even more, right? Maybe anniversary time, probably a little less, but normally when it's not anniversary time, it's probably gonna take a lot more time. So I would say, like, make it easier to max characters. Maybe at least make it easier to max older characters, right? Make it easier to max older characters. So if I have like units like Onigashima Luffy, for example, make it easy for me to max him. Give me more Onigashima Luffy frags. Make the drop rates for older units super high. Where pretty much every time you summon, you get a 4-star character guaranteed. Maybe even like a 4-star Bounty Fest guaranteed. Like an old 4-star Bounty Fest guaranteed. So, at least in these summons, the drop rates for EXs are like 0.01% or whatever, super, super low. At least make it easier to get older bounty fests or newer bounty fests for that matter. So at least if we don't get the EX, we get shafted completely, which most likely is gonna happen unless you're super, super lucky. Most of the times you get shafted, at least you can get like some newer bounty fests or even older bounty fests to help out with your support and stuff. So that definitely does go a long way. So that's pretty much my next point, is to make it easier to max characters. You can even like introduce like a treadmill boost system, like pretty much when you can just have this as a mission, bro. It's like my idea that I just came up with on the spot right here. You can just have like a system to boost treadmill for like an hour, like double the speed of treadmill for an hour. I think they already have that in the shop. For like an entire month, you just get, I think, 7 frags instead of 5 frags now if you do that. But I think if they can do that, just integrate it into the missions, bro. Just when you win like 2 games every day, just make it in like one of the daily missions. So when you pretty much win 2 games, you can pretty much get treadmill boost for an hour. So you can just like speed up the treadmill, get it in 2x speed for like an hour, bro. And you can obviously have a paid version of that in the shop as well. So it's pretty much like a win-win situation. People can just buy from the shop if they want to, and the free-to-play players will get some treadmill boost by completing the 2 wins mission, pretty much. And that's pretty much one way of helping out, is to make the treadmill speed faster. Maybe make the amount of frags required to get a character maxed out faster, or just try to give us more frags. Because if there's a new EX, but like for example, if someone got EX Law or EX Saturn and they don't have any frags, they're gonna have to sit there on the treadmill, bro. It takes, I think it's pretty much 5 frags a day, 5 frags a day. Let's suppose you get a cheers. Most people, they don't even get cheers, bro, because they're in like dead alliances. Obviously I'm fortunate enough to be in like a really active alliance, so I pretty much get like a cheer every day. So let me just take the best case scenario, right? 5 frags and then 1 cheer, so that's 6 frags a day. 6 frags a day will take 10 days to get 60 frags, which is like what? Let me do some quick math, bro. So that should be, I think, around 200 days, if I'm not wrong, right? 200 days for 1,200 frags. And that's like what, a little over 6 months. So it takes 6.5 months to max out an EX, and 6.5 months. What did we get? Like Saturn, right? Not even Saturn. I think it's like Luffy, right? 6.5 months ago, or something like that. 6 or 7 months ago is when Luffy came out, I'm pretty sure. And so, yeah, bro. Imagine you max out Luffy now. Like, there's no point of having a max EX Luffy now, bro. EX Luffy is kind of cooked, So, like, just make it easier for people to max out EXs, I would say, or not EXs, like characters in general. Just make it easier for people to max out characters in general, so they can actually like enjoy them when there is a meta. Having a max EX Luffy during the Luffy meta, which is such more fun, which is so much more fun, rather than having a max EX Luffy now that you have to wait for 6 to 7 months pretty much, to be able to play him at max level, bro. It's so crazy. And my next point is pretty much talking about the matchmaking, especially on Steam. Again, now I don't play on phone, on mobile, so I don't really know what the mobile matchmaking is like. So I'm speaking mainly for Steam. At least in Steam, bro, and matchmaking, every time you get the right, if you get to SS League, you just like get matched against Legend League 4 stacks. Pretty much alliance that is playing on WC probably. They have 4 people on WC. You're gonna be playing in solo queues, and you're just gonna get matched against 4 Legend League players with 200 hyper boost. Boom, boom, boom. Straight. You're just a new player who just made it to SS League. Like, you play the game for like maybe a month and a half, 2 months maybe. You got unlucky. You got a few meta EXs, and you're still getting cooked. You have a meta EX, and maybe you're playing that along with your Egghead Luffy or something, Egghead Zoro, whatever, right? You're a new player, that's your best bounty fest that you have. So maybe you got like the brand new EX Law, brand new EX nusjuro, and your next unit along with nusjuro is Egghead Luffy, right? Since it's a red unit, that's your best other bounty fest that you have. So you're playing that, and you're getting matched with whales, bro. 200 hyper boost, boost 4 nusjuros, boost 4 kizus. It's actually crazy. It's just crazy, bro. Like, you cannot compete against that. New players just cannot compete against that, bro. So I hope when it comes to matchmaking, you matchmake people according to their own rank. You can do that in terms of like party power, or in terms of their support percentage. You can use different variables in order to like make it easier to matchmake. And I think there's a lot more players on Steam now. I've been definitely seeing that, like, especially in like CB ranking. You can tell back in the day when I used to complete CB, I was easily just like top 1K without even being able to, without even doing anything. I would not even grind, bro. I would just literally get my 30K in CB, get my 30K score and done, and I'll just get top 1K somehow. Now I get 30K score, and I'm not even top 10K. I'm like, I come out to be 12, 13, 14K. So there's definitely a lot more players on Steam now. There's definitely like a good amount of players, and even to get Legends League back in the day, it used to be just get 10k, and you're easily Legends, right? Now it's like 18, 19k to get Legends League. It is actually crazy. So there's a lot more people on Steam now. You need to get 18, 19k to get Legends League. So there's a lot more people on Steam now. So there you don't have the same excuse of saying, oh, there's nobody to match you with. So there's definitely people to match you with. You can definitely do that 100%. So hopefully they can match make people according to their level, somewhere around their level, and not just match make you with legends. Especially solo queue matchmaking is just completely cooked. I think more of that has to do with people not really understanding how to play their own role. Like you see a garp, someone playing garp, or like a EX Kizu, and they're trying to back cap. It's just kind of cooked. So I think that plays a part in it as well. But hopefully you get matched with people that are on your own level. And the next topic that I pretty much want to talk about is pretty much to give cola more value. Till now, cola is not really it's not really of any use, bro. The only thing I do use cola for is to just get my cola boost orbs, like the black orbs that you need for hyper boost, and maybe from some coins from time to time, right? Even the units that you have in cola, like the crocodile, maybe crocodile is kind of useful for the warlord support, but like even the Nami or the Usopp in there that you have, the Bon Clay and those other guys, it's kind of they're just not really playable, bro. Maybe give us a new unit that is really good for Cola. Maybe give us a new Cola unit that's really good. It's a good Bonnie Fest right now, something along those lines. To be able to who's like kind of playable, or just give us some kind of like maybe make it a like some kind of rental system where you can pretty much just like maybe rent EX nusjuro for a day, have it for 24 hours for maybe say 1,000 cola, right? Something like that. Maybe have a rental system, or maybe give us some kind of like gold frags, maybe give us some boost orbs, make it something that we can kind of use in some way, shape, or form. Maybe we can get some character frags out of that. Because right now we can't get anything from that. That's literally the only thing we get that from that is like you get, and I know you get one chance card from that, one chance card for Bonnie Fest, one of the step ups chance card. That's all you get. Other than that, you don't really get anything else. Other than that, it's just pretty much just like the attacker orbs. I think the attacker, defender, and runner orbs, the first and second orbs, and then you have the other cola characters. That's really literally all there is in the cola. There's literally no use of that banner, bro. Like no one even summons any of the characters. Like crocodile could be useful for warlord support. Other than that, I don't really see any reason. Like literally, I don't see a reason to literally like there's nothing to do with cola, bro. Like literally all you do is to get the black cola orbs for your hyper boost. Sometimes I might get the coins if I'm low on coins, and that's about it, bro. There's literally no other use for cola. So hopefully they give cola some other like give cola more value, make something good in there, so people at least when they get shafted on their summons, they get a lot of cola out of it, and they can maybe at least redeem themselves by getting something out of it, right? So that's my pretty much my point, is to pretty much give cola a little bit more value. And pretty much my last and final point for this video is pretty much going to be about the future of the game. I hope that a lot more units get playable. I think right now they're doing quite a good job with the buffs. They're buffing units quite more constantly. I think they're gonna do a buff every month now. I think if I'm not wrong, they're doing a buff pretty much almost every month. Some buffs are not the best, but at least they're buffing units, right? At least the units are being playable now. And hopefully they keep doing that. We'll have a lot more playable units in the meta. Obviously, that should be the end goal, to be able to have like at least 50 to 60 like good. And then by playable, I don't mean just barely playable, right? Like Oden is. Like Oden is barely playable in the meta. I'm talking units that you can have some really good games with, help your team. Maybe even carry a few games. That's what I mean by making units playable, right? You know, so yeah, mainly just have a lot of units playable. Reduce the power creep, because the power creep right now is kind of cooked. Do not please do not release units like Kizu. Nusjuro is kind of on that pattern as well. Obviously, he's not as broken as Kizu was, but he's definitely up there with Kizu as one of the most broken EXs to be released. And hopefully, they continue to release more skill-based units like Law, like EX Saturn. When they drop, people just straight away started to say, "Oh, yo, EX Saturn is so trash, bro. EX Law is so trash, bro. EX Blackbeard is so bad. He's so squishy, bro. He's like so bad." That's pretty much what you want, bro. That's pretty much what you want. Those are the type of EXs that you want to release, because they're more skill based, and most of the brain dead players just cannot even play it, bro. Like they don't understand their role. They don't understand how to play the game. They just want to be able to tap buttons and just get 10 to 11k score and just flex. Like, hey, bro, I KO'd a EX Luffy with my nusjuro, man. I got 10 KOs with my nusjuro, It's not that big of a deal, right? In this meta with nusjuro, it's not that big of a deal. So hopefully we get more skill-based units like EX Law, You know, EX Law I think is the best EX. If you just want to make a new EX, just use EX Law as a template, bro. It's like the perfect EX that you can use as a template. And yeah, just EX Law, EX Saturn, Blackbeard as well to an extent. Blackbeard I think was a little bit on the broken side, but he still was quite good. I'm not gonna lie, he was still quite balanced. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, just continue to release the skill based units. Hopefully, you get a few more broken Bani Fest like Kumabani and Chopper. And yeah, like I said before, more rewards as well. You know, few more booster units. Maybe a free EX here and there if possible, Bandai. Maybe not Yamato this time. And yeah, bro, shorter CVs, all that stuff. And yeah, that pretty much is the video, guys. That's pretty much all my thoughts on the current state of the game right now. So hopefully some of this, I don't know if Bandai's gonna watch this, probably not, but you know, I'm just gonna use my platform to be able to raise my voice about things that I feel are going wrong about this game. Maybe even some of the things that they're doing right, just continue doing it, maybe double down more. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. Hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. If y'all did, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and I'm gonna catch y'all guys in the next one.